part of all of that was this tuning fork watch for satellites. We were in all, not 3, all 46 Apollo and Gemini missions, in the dashboards, in all the science packages, on the moon. If you have a watch that's mechanical, you have friction problems on the moon. So if everybody in here had a mechanical watch on, in 15 minutes we'd all have a different time, right? And it's not because hairspring would still move, it would move well. But the friction that doesn't exist up there is going to run our times off. So you have to have something, and that's why they had to create a tuning fork. They needed something electronic that was more reliable, that things like gravity, right, would not affect. This was that watch. Very special. In the late 1960s, you could not sell a watch in America. They owned over 86% of the market share. You had to have a tuning fork, or nobody wanted the watch. So 11 companies, and there's some at the bottom there, and these are watches, examples of those watches. So you can go take a look at them later. These are all Universal Genève, Movado, Zenith, Omega, Beaumercier, IWC, Longines, Rado, you name it. People were using tuning forks, and they paid us to make them. Now, somebody asked me a question earlier, and they said the back of the watch on the new one, remember we kind of combined them, it's an amalgamation. The back of the watch has a beautiful Côte de Genève, right? But the original back was solid, right? So somebody, who asked that question? You asked that question. So why did we do that? Because I'm a jerk, a little bit, I'll admit a little bit I am, is every one of these watches we made for these other companies, if you take the backs off the watch, it looks exactly like this. But we would put a plate on it that said Omega, or Longines, or IWC. So I put that, and I made sure everyone could see it, so that all those companies had to remember. Do you remember when you couldn't sell a watch in America? Because this was so significant, right? This watch, I know he exaggerates with the Titans and everything, but this watch is that important to horology. It's that important to timekeeping. So really special timepiece in that sense. Now, one of the things we say about the watch is that in a world of apples, and this is a great example, because you got a lot of brands in here, a lot of beautiful timepieces, but every single one of them is an apple. It runs one of 2 ways. You can shake it, right? Or you put a battery in it, and it ticks away with the quartz movement, right? Accutron, and specifically, especially electrostatic, is an orange. Tuning forks and electrostatic watches are unlike anything else on the planet. There's nothing in this store, there's nothing anywhere in the world that is Accutron in these movements, and they're proprietary. As a matter of fact, the electrostatic watch has 18 awarded patents. 18. You will not find another watch anywhere close to that kind of a number, right? There was a company that was in Switzerland this year that bragged about having 2 applied patents. Applied, not awarded, applied. We have 18 awarded patents and 5 applied still that we're waiting for. So these watches are very, very unique. For the tuning fork, we had to create, because you're rebuilding the pyramids. This is ancient technology, right? Why has no one made it? Because they're very difficult to make. There is 9 new pieces of equipment that are patented to build this watch, and then time it. It's incredible, right? And with your warranty, you have a 5-year warranty, and you have a battery replacement for it. In that 5 years, you will not replace a single battery. You will send it to Houston. We have a special room there. We will take out the battery. We will find out the exact charge of the battery, tune your tuning fork to it, and then we will clean the inside and outside of your watch and send it back to you within the warranties. So you'll have that happen 2 or 3 times during that time frame, all for and by us. So it's really a special timepiece. But the watch, all watches, the reason you all buy watches is because you want them to be one of these 7 things, right? Historically significant. Do we kind of understand the historical significance at this point? Yeah? We're on the same page. Rare and curated. The electrostatic watch, we can only build maximum 400 a year. We have not built 4. This year we're only building about 280 because we're making the tuning fork. And we only have 9 people that work for us. right? So 6 people work on the electrostatic, only 3 of them are able to put it together. They're hand-built, hand-finished, everything. All in one room in the world. Really cool. But these watches are that. They're not for just large public consumption. These watches tell a story. They tell a story about some of you, right? And they tell the story of America and of history and of space. So these watches are special, right? This, I think you said, was it you who said it the other night? No, I think it was your mom, said this isn't your first watch, it's your 8th watch, right? And the reason is because this watch, when you have your sport watch and you have your dress watch and you want to buy something of significance, something very, very interesting, something that the world is going to say, what are you wearing? I've never seen one of those, right? That's what the Accutron watch is. That's the watch in your collection, right? So if you want to be noticed and you want to have that piece, Rita, thanks for that, because that was I loved it. That was fantastic. It was dead on too. So the future is back. So one of the things that we want people to understand is that with that type of history, you don't recreate it. You just kind of put it forward again. So when it comes to electrostatic, people say, well, why aren't you just tuning forks? Somebody actually said that tonight, like, I really am not into the electrostatic. But when we started over, I was lucky enough to be a consultant at the time, and I helped them kind of understand this, or not understand it, but work through this, is when we relaunched Accutron, we used the same methodology. We asked ourselves, what does the world need? Not what is a cool watch and we can sell it, right? What did the world need? So, Citizen being our top engineers, they're really into making sure that, like, that's why it's called Citizen, it's for everyone, and they want the world to kind of benefit from the work they do. And one of the things they said is, we kind of have something we've been working on. And I'm like, oh, really? Right? So it was a sustainable energy kind of resource. So that's what the electrostatic became. We solved the problem of space with the first watch. And as we were building this tuning fork and bringing it to market, we had this to present. And we finished this and worked on this. It took 10 years for both of them to come out. But the sustainable energy came from an ancient technology. The tuning fork has been around since the 1200s, right? And then electrostatic energy has been around since the 1700s. So we went back to old technologies and built new things with it. Things that are amazing. A watch that never stops running, right? A watch that has all the power. What's the power reserve? Yes, right? It's yes. So that's who we are. So some of the basic information is available, right? We can go through this tonight. We can, we talked about a lot of these things. But some of the things that are really important for people is caliber, accuracy, power reserve, right? What's really cool, I'm going to just talk about the bullet points. The power reserve for this watch is indefinitely, right? So if we read this, it says energy conversion, it's indefinitely with daily use. So this watch will go to sleep in 10 days. What that means is the hour and minute hand will stop after 240 hours. A lot of us have a lot of watches. We put that down, we don't wear it. What we don't want is that battery to run out. 18 patents. One of them is extraordinary. This watch, and it says it down here, can conserve energy and keep 98% of the power in the watch indefinitely. This watch can get put down and forgotten about. You can come back in 100 years, pull the crown, 98% of the power is still in it. Set the time. You're okay, we can fix that. You set the time, push in the crown, it'll run forever again. Now, we have people who have this watch. Is this a cool feature or what? Right? And you have a lot of watches, so you're going to change them out. You're wearing a beautiful timepiece you bought, but that watch doesn't stop running, right? And when you travel, it's a great travel watch, because if it's in your suitcase or in your pocket or in your backpack, it will always be moving and it'll never turn off. So this watch only goes to sleep if there's no movement. I'm a big guy, I don't know if anybody noticed, but if I walk past my bureau and the floor shakes the watch, it resets it. Now you have 20 days, right? So this watch is, again, it's not just me talking about it. We got people who wear them and they can tell you. It's incredible how this timepiece works. And it's really, really special and unique. So that's something that's important. The other one, and we already talked about half of it, is the power save function. So the watch doesn't need to be, currently, it does not need to be sent in ever for any upkeep. The watch is almost frictionless. The watch solved the problem of watches having to be worked on, which is the second hand. We created that it didn't have to be made. but it did for this watch to work forever. So it's a little bit of a misnomer. One of the other things that's really unique about the timepiece is this part, the rotor. So, as I said, we have a lot of patents. And if I talk about these patents and tell you how they work, it's no longer patentable, right? Because now I've given up trade secrets and it's public knowledge. So, every year, we are able to talk more and more about the watch. So when these videos were made, there was things we couldn't say about the rotor. We only could say that it accelerated the wheels. The other side of this is that it is the world's first mechanical accelerometer. The rotor's main function is to tell the second hand when to start and stop because you start and stopped. So the watch is truly a smartwatch. It knows its wearer and its movements, and it learns when to start and when to stop. And that second hand will pick up again and be accurate within 2 minutes. So it runs at half a second beat until it catches up to the actual time, because it's storing that information, and within 2 minutes it'll be dead on the minute. So that's a really cool feature of having this rotor. Now this rotor doesn't go 360 degrees. It's actually more of a bumper, it's an ellipse, and it's incredibly heavy and heavily geared, so it doesn't move like you have your watches, you take them off, you go like this, and it spins like crazy, right? That's not how this works, right? This is designed to move like a human moves. That's what will wind it and get it going. So it just needs very small movement to do that, and then it translates that into information. So it knows to rest when you're resting, and it knows to start when you start. So that allows us to have less and less problems inside the watch, right? Because the second hand does all the grinding and creates all the heat.
So how is it keeping time if the second hand isn't running?
So there's an integrated circuit, which is a computer chip, that always knows the time. So that is saying, because in any quartz package, you are going to have, so this is every quartz watch, every one that's in this building, every single one of them. Even if you have a timing device, regardless of what it is, and it will go to an IC, and that IC actually tells the watch what time it is. It's the one that moves the step motors, right? That's no different than this.
So this does have step motors?
It does, for the hour and minute hand, it has a step motor.
Okay.
The only thing that other motor does, that world's first electrostatic motor, is it moves the second hand, and it does it in that perfect sweep, which we wanted to pay homage to and create from the original one. So that's pretty fun, huh? Any more questions about this crazy rotor? That's not really a rotor? Yes?
Do electric motors affect, being around electric motors affect?
That's a great question. So this watch has come back 0 pieces have come back for any mechanical issues at all. Yeah, I know, it's kind of, to be honest, I'm a watchmaker and it makes me nervous. I'd rather have something come back, right? So I can start troubleshooting. But nothing's ever happened, right? So we've had people around really high magnetic fields, hasn't done anything. And as a matter of fact, my job is to kind of try to break these before they go to market. So I always get new ones and early ones. That's what you're looking at tonight with the... do you ever see those things that people put like model cars on and they float above, right? And you put a piece of paper over it, or and you can't see it. It looks like it's just floating. I have had an electrostatic watch on one of those for 3 months now. It's still telling the perfect time, and it doesn't stop because it's moving all the time. It's spinning. So we don't recommend you stick it. Like I put one in a microwave and arced it.
Oh, geez.
And it worked. I froze it, right? I did ISO certification. They said, you gave it to me, I'm going to try to break it. So I did ISO certification. I froze it for 24 hours, and I stuck the frozen block into a pot of water. I boiled it for another hour. I took it out. I dropped it from 5 feet in the air on a hardwood floor. I did everything I was supposed to do. This son of a gun just kept going. And as a matter of fact, that watch is a watch that I have under test. I've had that watch for 6 years, and I wear it at least once every 10 days. It has never stopped. And I can't tell you that this is going to be for every watch. It's still within 2 minutes in 6 years.
Shit.
That's crazy, right? But that's what I do, right? That's my thing. So like my wife's like, are you wearing the, and I'm like, no, it's been like 6 days. I'm fine. I still got another 4 days. But I love the tuning forks that are out now, so I'm wearing them a lot. But yeah, it's just the basic original one, and it's been running like a tank. And it's that same watch. There's actually a mark on it from when it arced in the microwave. People are like, what happened to the case? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
Hey Richard, would
Yeah.
you put this watch on a winder?
Oh my gosh, what a great question. We planted that question, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm gonna, Superman, right? Superman has
Random person in
kryptonite.
the crowd asking.
Superman has kryptonite. A watch winder would be this watch's kryptonite if there was anything. And it's not really kryptonite. The thing is with this watch, because of the way it works and how unique it is that if you put it on a winder and it was constantly moving, it is about energy exchange. Right? And nothing is forever. So we've put, all these different systems in place to make sure that if this isn't powering the watch, then this is. Like we didn't talk in there about tapping, right? Because they didn't want to talk about that technology yet, but we're allowed to do it now. So our new videos will have that in, and we'll talk about that later. But with the watch winder, you are going to take more energy out than you're putting in because it's not designed to be spinning. It doesn't go 360. It's not loose. You're not even going to move the rotor. So the watch is going to be so stable on those things that you're only going to get a little bit of energy going into it. So in probably 5 to 7 years, the watch could run out of power and need to get recharged, right? So we say don't do that. The beauty of the watch is you don't need a watch winder, right? You just pick it up and put it on and it's still running. Sometimes you're shocked, right? Like you pick it up and you're like, holy crap, it's still perfectly on time. It's one of those things, and it's designed to eliminate power reserve from a watch. That was part of the engineering, and it was also designed to make it simple so you don't need a watch winder. So yeah, so no watch winder necessary on this. So, all right, now we're going to look at some product.